Quick note before we start. Nothing on this channel is financial advice. I'm an analyst and a builder. MANTIS is a cycle analysis tool. What you do with that information is entirely your decision. You already know the story. A hare, fast and certain, sprints out of the gate and leaves everyone behind. A tortoise, slow and unbothered, keeps walking. The hare is so far ahead it decides to rest, and while it sleeps, the tortoise, step after patient step, walks past it and wins. Most people hear that story as a children's fable about effort. I want you to hear it today as a description of exactly where Bitcoin is right now, because the hare has been sprinting like mad recently, and it's starting to get tired. Let's set the table. Bitcoin is trading in the mid-70,000s. We are in the fourth year of the four-year cycle, the declining phase. The phase the crowd hates because nothing about it feels like progress. Price grinds, rallies fail a little lower each time. The excitement that defined the top is gone. And what's left is the slow, uncomfortable walk down toward the bottom. This is the tortoise's part of the race. On the chart, the 200-day moving average is sitting right around 79,000. And price has recently failed to break it. That is not the posture of a market about to break out. That is the posture of a market rolling over. And rolling over is exactly what we'd expect here, because we are not at the end of this decline. We are walking into the next leg of it. Bitcoin doesn't move in a straight line, even inside a bear phase. It moves in rhythms. The one we track most closely is the weekly cycle, a recurring low-to-low pattern that, on average, plays out over a number of weeks before printing its bottom and starting again. And right now, MANTIS is telling us we are about to enter the window for the next weekly cycle low. That window opens in June. The estimate sits in the high 60s, around 68,000, with a projected range running from the low 60s up into the low 70s. That's a wide band on purpose. We don't pretend to know the exact number. We know the timing window, we know the direction, and we know the shape. Lower. This is the part where the hare is still convinced it's winning. Price is still in the 70s. The headlines are still bullish, and underneath it, quietly, the cycle is walking the price down toward a low that hasn't printed yet. The tortoise doesn't argue with the hare, it just keeps reading the map. So what does rolling over actually look like mechanically? It looks like rallies that can't reclaim the moving averages. It looks like each push higher, topping out a little lower than the last. It looks like momentum fading at exactly the level a healthy market would be powering through. All three of those are present right now. This is the most important thing to understand about a declining cycle. The rollover happens before the headlines admit it. By the time the news catches up to the price, the move is already well underway. The chart tells you first, the narrative tells you last. Our line in the sand hasn't moved. The invalidation for this bear phase is $80,600, the level of the previous weekly cycle low. Until price reclaims that and holds it, the base case is unchanged. Lower low ahead inside the window we're now entering. We are not predicting a crash. We are describing a cycle doing exactly what cycles do. Patiently, on schedule, like a tortoise. Here's why none of this is bad news. The whole point of this channel, the whole point of MANTIS, is that the best entries in Bitcoin are made in exactly the conditions that feel the worst. Down here, in the declining phase, whether on a weekly or four-year time frame, while the crowd is bored and the price is rolling over, the map is at its clearest. The four-year cycle low window opens in June. The optimal zone is later in the year, around October. The window doesn't fully close until next March, though. We are early, and being early on purpose, with a plan, is the tortoise's entire advantage. The hare reacts, it sprints when it's excited and sleeps when it's tired. The tortoise just keeps walking the same line, indifferent to how it feels in the moment, because it knows where the finish line is. Step back, set your alerts. Let the cycle do the work. That's not a slogan, that's the tortoise's strategy, written down. I'll leave you with one more thing. We've been building quietly for a while now behind the scenes. A significant update to MANTIS. I'm not going to walk you through it today because it isn't ready, and I'm not going to rush it out the door just to have something to show. When it's right, you'll see it. What I'll say is this: it's built for exactly this part of the cycle. the part where the tortoise quietly walks past the sleeping hare, the part where the patient, unglamorous, systematic approach turns out to have been the right one all along. So keep an eye on this channel over the coming weeks. The hare is resting, the window is opening, and the tortoise is still walking. Bitcoin is rolling over into the next weekly cycle low. The overarching 4-year cycle low window is opening like some glorious portal. The cycles are pointing down and price will follow. This is the tortoise's part of the race. Slow, patient, unglamorous, and exactly where the advantage is built. If you want to run the framework yourself, MANTIS is available with a free 14-day trial. Link in the description, and keep watching. There's something coming. Step back. Set your alerts. Let the cycle do the work.